Tyrannosaurus Rex. Every assumption about how T-Rex killed is wrong. It didn't slash, it didn't claw, it bit through bone and swallowed the fragments. The bite force measured from skull analysis sits at approximately 57,000 newtons, the strongest of any land animal ever studied. For context, a lion bites at around 1/800 newtons. T-Rex bit with 30 times that force. The teeth weren't blades. They were described by paleontologists as lethal bananas. Thick, serrated, designed not to slice, but to crush and extract. One bite could remove 230 kilograms of flesh in a single pull. The arms people mock were irrelevant. The skull was the weapon, and it was 5 feet long. A full-grown T-Rex weighed up to 8,800 kilograms and could detect prey through smell alone at distances rivaling modern vultures. It didn't need to be fast. At 12 to 13 meters long, it was already where you were before you processed the threat. It became the defining land predator of its era not through speed, but through a killing mechanism so efficient that nothing it encountered survived contact. Megalodon. The largest shark that ever lived is still debated in terms of exact size, but the upper estimates based on tooth and vertebrae analysis put it between 15 and 20 meters long. The great white shark reaches 6. Megalodon's bite force is estimated at 108,000 to 182,000 newtons, the highest of any animal in the fossil record. It didn't hunt fish. Analysis of fossilized whale bones from the Miocene and Pliocene epochs shows deep parallel gouges matching Megalodon tooth patterns, concentrated around fins and tails. It disabled large prey first by removing mobility, then consumed. Teeth recovered from ocean floors measure up to 18 centimeters, the size of a human hand. A single tooth was large enough that early humans who found them believed they were petrified dragon tongues. Megalodon occupied every ocean on Earth for roughly 20 million years. It went extinct approximately 3.6 million years ago, likely as cooling oceans collapsed the whale populations it depended on. The ocean didn't become safer after that. It just became less immediately fatal. Spinosaurus. Spinosaurus was larger than T-Rex, and almost nobody talks about what that means. At an estimated 14 to 15 meters and up to 7,400 kilograms, it held the title of largest carnivorous dinosaur ever discovered. But the killing mechanism is different. Spinosaurus was semi-aquatic, confirmed by bone density analysis showing reduced buoyancy, short hind limbs suited for paddling, and isotope data from teeth indicating a diet of large fish and aquatic prey. The jaws were narrow and conical, resembling a crocodile's, designed for gripping rather than crushing. Prey was caught underwater, held with interlocking teeth, and drowned or suffocated. On land, Spinosaurus was less dominant. In water, nothing in its environment competed with it. The neural spines extending nearly 2 meters from its back may have aided thermoregulation or served as display. Researchers are still arguing. What isn't argued? This animal hunted in the same rivers that other massive predators drank from, and it did so from below the surface, invisible until contact. Smilodon. The saber-toothed cat's canines measured up to 28 centimeters. They were not used to bite through bone. They would have snapped under that pressure. Biomechanical modeling shows Smilodon's jaw open to approximately 120 degrees, far beyond any modern cat, to clear those teeth before striking. The killing method was a precise throat bite, severing the trachea and major blood vessels in a single motion. Death occurred in seconds. Smilodon weighed between 160 and 280 kilograms depending on species, with forelimb muscle mass significantly greater than modern lions, built for pinning large prey before the strike, not chasing it. It ambushed. Bone analysis from La Brea tar pits in California, where thousands of Smilodon specimens were recovered, shows healed injuries consistent with wrestling megafauna, mammoths, bison, giant ground sloths. It regularly attacked animals 10 times its size and won. The teeth were the last step. The ambush, the grip, and the pin happened first. The canines finished it.
Velociraptor, a dinosaur that Hollywood made famous and science made small. In the movies, they're 6-foot-tall killing machines, hunting in packs, outsmarting humans. In reality, turkey-sized, feathered, and probably chirping. Still deadly, just less cinematic. At about 3 feet tall and 6 feet long, mostly tail, Velociraptor was built for speed and agility, not brute force. It had a sickle-shaped claw on each foot, its signature weapon. One swift kick could slash open prey or pin it down while Velociraptor used its jaws to finish the job. Brutal efficiency in a compact package. But the clever girl reputation? Debatable. Velociraptor had a decent brain for its size, but it wasn't scheming or opening doors. It was a predator with good instincts, not a feathered philosopher. And those packs from Jurassic Park? Pure fiction. Most fossils suggest Velociraptor was a solitary hunter, or at best, hunted in loose groups. No coordinated tactics, no pack hierarchy. Just opportunistic carnivores doing their thing. The most famous Velociraptor fossil is the fighting dinosaurs, a Velociraptor locked in combat with a Protoceratops, both frozen mid-battle, preserved for 75 million years. One predator, one herbivore, eternal struggle. It's the paleontological equivalent of a freeze frame on an action scene. So why does Velociraptor dominate pop culture? Because the real star of Jurassic Park should have been Deinonychus, a larger raptor from North America. But Velociraptor sounded cooler, so Hollywood ran with it. Science took the back seat, branding took the wheel, and honestly, it worked.
Quetzalcoatlus. This was not a dinosaur. It was a pterosaur with a wingspan of approximately 10 to 11 meters, the size of a small aircraft, and it stood as tall as a giraffe when on the ground. Quetzalcoatlus is the largest flying animal ever confirmed by the fossil record. Flight biomechanics research suggests it launched by vaulting with all 4 limbs simultaneously, achieving airborne status within a single motion. Once airborne, it could travel thousands of kilometers using thermal currents. The killing method was terrestrial. It stalked on land with a long, stiff neck and a beak over 2 meters long, functioning like a living spear. Small animals, hatchlings, and anything it could swallow whole were taken without warning from above or at ground level. There was no defense posture that worked against something that could approach from the air and strike faster than prey could register. It became apex not through strength but through geometry. Attack angles nothing in its environment had evolved to anticipate. Allosaurus. Allosaurus predated T-Rex by 80 million years and used a completely different strategy. The skull was lighter, the bite force lower, estimated at around 8,500 to 17,000 newtons, but the jaw mechanics compensated. Research published in the journal Paleontologia Electronica describes the Allosaurus hunting method as a hatchet strike. The upper jaw drove downward into prey using neck muscles rather than jaw-closing force. It didn't bite and hold. It opened, struck, and raked. This allowed it to attack prey significantly larger than itself, including sauropods reaching 20 meters in length. Fossilized Allosaurus teeth have been found embedded in Apatosaurus vertebrae. It attacked what should have been unkillable. At 8.5 meters and roughly 1,700 kilograms, it was faster than T-Rex and hunted in environments where speed over open terrain mattered. Bone beds containing multiple Allosaurus specimens near single prey sites suggest possible cooperative hunting. Still debated, but the evidence exists. Whether alone or coordinated, it was the dominant predator of the late Jurassic for millions of years. Caprosuchus. Most people have never heard of it. That's the problem. Caprosuchus was a Cretaceous crocodilian that didn't live in water. It ran on fully erect legs like a mammal, stood about a meter tall at the shoulder, reached 3 meters in length, and had interlocking teeth that projected outward from the jaw, designed for gripping and tearing rather than the simple bite and hold of modern crocodiles. It was built entirely for land pursuit. Modern crocodiles ambush from water because their limb structure doesn't support sustained terrestrial movement. Caprosuchus had no such limitation. It could chase. The teeth, referred to by paleontologists as boar-like due to their protruding structure, were capable of gripping prey through hide and holding, while the animal used its body weight to drag and disorient. It shared its environment with large dinosaurs. It survived anyway. Caprosuchus represents the version of the crocodile lineage that nearly conquered land before the branch went extinct.